What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we're going to chop up this perfectly running Miata.
ハイパースピードメディア
So it's a perfectly running Miata. Everything works on it as it should. It passed inspection and everything like that. But it did got hit right here in the rear quarter panel. And the previous owner or whoever did the repair panel did a crappy job right here. And this panel looks like crap. And this is the rear quarter panel right here. As you can see, they did a crappy job on it. It looks like crap. But you know what? It was a quick fix for them to get the car on the road. I guess it's fine for what it is. But I'm not happy with that. I'm going to make the car more interesting. And there's a lot of people that built Def Kart and they got all different flares and style that they built these car out of it. So my goal is to strip everything back from the rear right here. Completely gone. Everything back here. Just the gas tank and the suspension and the differential, and then make a metal frame out of tube that looks exactly like the Miata. It's not going to be perfectly like a Miata, but in my head it's going to look kind of like a Miata. So I wanted to keep the Miata figure, but in a skeleton form, if that makes any sense. So the first thing we're going to do is actually remove the trunk, the tire and all that stuff, the bumper, remove all the wiring harness to the front, and then start cutting. All right, let's open this up and see what kind of repair is done behind here. Wow, so it's just Bondo. It's a thick layer of Bondo. Wow, it's really thick. When I say thick, I mean thick. Okay, I've seen enough. Now look at it. That's just bad. And it goes even more. Goes even further back. And look at all the Bondo. Body filler. Look how thick some of them are. All right, now everything's out of the way. All the wiring is now to the front. Now we can start trimming the body panel one by one and see where I need to kind of cut and weld up all the roll bar. So, of course, all these panel right here, the rear quarter is going to go. The back, all this panel right here is going to go. The trunk panel, this shelf right here is going to go. All that stuff is going to go. The gas line is disconnected, so now we can cut all of this. I think somewhere I'm going to cut about right here, right above the strut. And the battery tray and all this stuff is going to go. This is going to go. The whole arc right here is going to go. I think I'm just going to keep the seat belt portion of it and see what happens. And cut straight down right here. And maybe make a slit across right here. And then I'll make a patch panel to weld it into the roll bar. Hopefully that's strong enough. If not, I'll make a little bit more support on the inside. There's going to be the big hoop on the top. And then we might have to remove the dash because we're doing a full cage. And then I wanted to use this door hinge right here. And yeah, I think I have to remove the dash next, but at least for the back panel, we can now start to cut. And it's looking good. Also, I got all these parts laying around. If you guys need any kind of part, hit me up on Instagram. So I got my welding blanket on the car to cover up the gas tank right here and also cover up the interior. Now it's time to start cutting. Okay, as you can see right here, this is where the car got hit at, and it pushed this inner structure all the way in, but not a big deal. I'm actually going to strengthen this part, apply more metal, pull it out, maybe straighten up a little bit more, and reinforce this to make this as strong as possible. All right, now it's fully complete. This is the cut. So for this section right here, what I'm going to do is actually make a plate right here. It's going to mount and weld into different braces. So one right here, one at the front, the back right here, and another one on the back right here. And then you're going to have a little more extra support when it goes up here, higher. Then you're going to have a little support for the seatbelt bracket. That's the main hoop for the roll bar. It's going to be the same on this side, but since this side it was damaged, I got to fix it a little bit more, make it nice and pretty, and we're going to do the same on this side. And then also mount a brace for the seat belt. Then we're going to have the main hoop going across, and then another hoop that goes back, and two hoops coming down to about right here, and also an X brace on the back. And then eventually when I get to the front, I'll do a kind of like a front brace. And for the door, we're going to add a movable door, kind of like a real door, and it's going to use the factory hinge right here as well. It's going to open and close like a stock car. And there's also going to be a main hoop that goes back here, and then somewhere along the line I'm going to put a brace across these two, and then maybe a little wing. We'll see what happens. So here's my CNC machine. It's easy to cut metal with the CNC machine, but if you don't have this, you can still do the same process with the angle grinder. And now the cut is finally complete. As you can see, the cut is nice and smooth. I can just lift the old metal out the way and grab this. And there you have it. All right, so I cut a few of these metal. These are 1/4 inch plate, so they're really thick. And this piece is right here. It's going to go like that. Inside is reinforced with a whole bunch of steel, so it's pretty solid. And then this is going to go on top like that. Again, these are reinforced thick metal. And I did weld a plate here. This is just sheet metal, but this is the real support right here. So we got support right here for the seat belt bracket, and then we got this right here. It's going to mount into the roll bar as a flat surface to weld, and this is going to reinforce everything some more. And then also there's the body damage. It's right here. Weld it together. I'm going to grind this down and then do some body work, make this nice, and fix any imperfection right here, and then it should be good. And then we're off to the next side. All right, so here's a little update. All this area right here is already welded in, and it's pretty solid. It's not going anywhere, and this is how thick the metal is right here. And it's looking good so far. I think I'm going to mount the battery somewhere right here. As you can see, I still am able to use the shelf, the factory shelf, and the cover for the gas tank. And then when I start making the roll bar, I could mount this to attach this to the roll bar. And now I got to work on this side. Probably do the same exact thing as the other side. But I also wanted to fix the dents and everything here. I want to kind of make this look like factory. So I'm going to pull the dents out and make it nice. So if you're wondering how I'm doing my cuts, what I have right here is a laser. So it's shooting laser right on the car, and the laser is level, right? You look at the level bubble leveler, it's level, and now it's showing that my cut is a little bit off, so I gotta mark this red line right here across to that edge over there, and that's gonna be level. When I mount the plate, that plate should be level. And here's from the back, and you can clearly see where the cut line is now. Now this is the piece for the back right here. It's going to sit just like that. And this piece right here is going to sit just like this. And lastly, I just got to do the cover. Okay, so here's the first pass on the well on the back. It's looking pretty good. The back right here, it's kind of tricky because it has sheet metal. So if you're doing this, you got to be very, very careful on the back. But the two mating metal back to back right here is very good. For the rear, I found this trailer fender right here. It's about 10.5 inch wide. So it's the widest one I could find because I plan to put like wide wheels on here. And this kind of fit perfectly, but it's a little bit longer. So I already marked my cut line. I'm going to cut it about halfway and then mount it to the rear, kind of like so. Also made these plates right here that will be mounted to the back of it. And from the factory, there's these mounting holes right here. I'm going to use that to mount the fender. What's good about these bolts is that you could actually use it to push the fender outward or inward, depending how wide your wheel is. So if this plate right here is mounted like that, I could use the thread on the screws to kind of push it in or outward. All right, so now the fender is in place. I had to cut this little slit right here because of this strut. As you can see, it's extruded out a little bit. So we have to cut a little hole for that. And then I have to drill a couple holes to mount onto these holes and maybe make a support on this side and support on the other side. All right, so the flare is now installed. All I need was 3 hardware and it's pretty stiff. I think I'm just gonna keep it as just 3 hardware. Doesn't need any kind of bracing in the back. So I'm just happy with that. Other side is looking good as well. And that should do it. I think it's more than stiff enough to be the way it is. Now I'm gonna work on the door next. And now for the door, I actually cut out a 1/4 inch piece of metal already. So this is gonna sandwich right between where the door hinge is. And just gonna bolt it on real quick. And it's going to have 4 bolts here through it, and then it's using the factory door hinge where I could just turn it if I need to open the door and close the door. And this piece of bar right here is going to well into a 1.5 inch tube all the way to the back. And coming to the striker side right here, we're going to put a door latch. This is from a NA Miata, which is from the 90 to 97. I used the 90 and the 97 because it's much smaller compared to the 99 in 2005. So it's just going to connect like so. I'm going to weld a plate that kind of like mount the latch and connect to the tubular bar. And you can open and close it just like a regular door. And here's a cardboard plate that I mock up. So it is going to be a 1/4 inch metal. It's going to mount onto the latch, and it should weld into the tubular right here on the top right here, and the bottom. I just got to make room somewhere for the bottom. So here's my 2 plate. I just cut it out, and this is for the latch for the doors. And here's the NA latch. So I'm just going to bolt this on. And now we're ready to bend the main hoop. So I got the main bar right here. Also got this ruler, it shows the degree and the angle of each bend. So I'm gonna just kind of eyeball everything and see which is the best angle. Then put it onto my bender and start bending some hoop. Okay, we got the main hoop on there. That's the main structure of the roll bar. And now also I cut the piece on the side. It's gonna have a little X in the back. And that's going on like that, about 45 degree. So we got 2 bars right there. Then I'll make a little X across. And then also I'll make a harness bar for the seat belt, kind of like right here in the back right here. And then another bar going toward the back. And I'm gonna surprise you guys with a little wing on there as well. Still debating what I want to do here. I might brace this up a little bit more. Maybe put a little more support coming from this main bar to the base right here. And then if I have enough metal, I'll weld the top bar going across the windshield pillars all the way to the floorboard. So that'd be last, see if how much metal I have left. But so far so good. It's looking pretty good. So majority of the work's already finished. The next thing I'm going to do is chop a piece off of the end right here and add another brace going across, and then add the tail lights. And also I'm going to cut a piece off of the rubber hose right here on the filler neck and move this neck closer inward and add a little brace for the tank. And then I'm also going to make an X brace for the door. But this is it for this video. But we are taking this drift kart to the drift track next week. So this is part 1 of the video. So I'll see you soon on part 2.
ハイパースピードメディア